Welcome back to me awkwardly talking to myself and playing Final Fantasy XVI DLC. I think we left off that we need to cross the bridge over here and let's keep on going. A long way rises to eternity, cursed never to break. The hands of time having stilled the rage of its tortured creator. Okay.
It's not much further now.
The path seems well kept. Do you and the villagers often come this way?
Only me. Once every new moon without fail. It is my duty both as village elder and Waljas's descendant.
But surely no one blames you for what happened. Why should you bear the responsibility alone?
You misunderstand. I do it because I want to show him that he isn't alone, and that there are still some of us who would see an end to his suffering. Suffering you will soon witness with your own eyes. The forest grows quickly here. Left unattended, the path would be reclaimed in a matter of moons.
Does the light point the way to the child?
It does indeed.
Look at all the droplets of water suspended in midair.
Where they have remained untouched by time for 80 summers.
It's not right.
No. It's not.
There. Up ahead. Down in the center. Follow me.
What the heck?
He's still primed.
I'll never forget my first priming. The fear. And I was old enough to understand what was happening. One can only imagine how this poor child felt.
He is the victim of an unforgivable sin. Committed by people who saw him as nothing but a means to an end. He must be so frightened.
Then I'll ease his burden.
You don't mean?
I'm not going to hurt him. Contrary to the tales, I don't go around killing dominants for no reason. What if I told you there was a way to remove Waljas' icon?
I tell you, you were a madman.
It's hard to believe, I know. But it can be done. Though, it isn't without its risks. Part of the icon remains no matter what.
So, it might still come to violence.
I don't know. It depends on the Dominant. I've seen things end well, and I've seen things spiral out of control. But I do know one thing. If we turn our backs on this child, there will be no end to his suffering. And I think that a worse fate than the alternative. Don't you?
Very well. Do what you must. And whatever happens, I will own the consequences.
Don't be afraid, little one. Let me bear the weight. Hush now. It's going to be all right.
Is it done?
I think so. I can feel the icon inside me. But something's wrong. He wasn't just afraid. He was angry. All right. Let's see what you've given me.
The power of water. Clive has claimed a portion of the icon Leviathan's essence. Attuning with Leviathan not only changes the elemental aspects of Clive's magic spells, but also allows access to several new iconic abilities such as Crosswell, an inescapable rush of water that pummels enemies from multiple angles. Ability details are found in the ability. Okay. Oh.
Leviathan!
No, just an eggy. But a formidable adversary nonetheless.
As friends. Is everyone all right?
He seems calmer now.
You said Waljas was frozen in time. But he knew we were here. How?
I don't know. He's never reacted to anything or anyone. Until now.
The child has been bound for nigh on a century. If he has been conscious from the first, we must remove the seal at once.
It's not that simple. I wish it were, but... there's more to this tale. It would be better if I explained back at the village.
I see. Then let's return before it gets dark.
I'm sorry, Waljas. I will make this right. So, part of Leviathan is inside you now, is it? Does it hurt?
No. Not anymore, anyway.
Good. Because I still have need of your strength. If you want to know the rest, we should head to the Witten Hall.
Of course.
Look daar, the jury is wacht.
To understand the spell which binds Waljas, you must first know who we are, and what drove my forebears to commit such an atrocity.
Okay.
This tapestry is our story, the one that brought us here. After generations of wandering, my people sought refuge in northeastern Storm, some 170 years ago. But in exchange for our safety, the Gregorian Church demanded we renounce our faith, and branded us heretics when we could not.
To be exterminated, as a lesson to others.
And so was it chronicled in the imperial histories, for anything less would have made the Church seem weak. Yet a handful survived. The few who did fled north and west, and in doing so discovered two things that would forever shape our fates. The first was an old legend revealing how to make your very own Mother Crystal.
I've heard that one before.
Yes, yet it gave them new hope, however false. Our ancestors convinced themselves that they could recreate the divine if they could only find a strong enough heart. A living being capable of channeling torrents of ether. And the heavens provided.
A dominant. Waljas.
They'd stumbled across a nostrum in an ancient ruin, which they believed could provoke a sudden outpouring of a creature's ether. They meant to enrage his icon. Leviathan would have destroyed everything, had our people not made their second important discovery. A means to stop time itself.
Where did they find that? The Northerners had no such magics, or they would have used them.
When our ancestors first arrived, the land was uninhabited, save for an old witch who lived on the highest peak. Her body had been consumed by the curse, a cruel payment for her long years of service to the Northern Thanes. So desperate were they to prevent the fall of Drake's Eye, they'd forced her to devise a spell to stop time.
But Drake's Eye did fall.
It did. When she finally perfected the necessary magics, it was already too late. As punishment for her failure, the Thanes exiled her to this forsaken place to live out the few days she had left. Knowing her suffering, our ancestors cared for her as best they could, and in return, she gifted them her spell. That even though she should die, her legacy might live on. So armed with both the knowledge of the ancients and the secrets of time, our ancestors settled upon an ambitious plan. They would create a new Mother Crystal, and enchant it that it might endure for all eternity. Thus would our people's wandering, our suffering, finally end, and prosperity visit us once more. And all it would require was the sacrifice of a single child. A small price to pay, or so they believed.
Another victim of man's blind reliance on the Mother Crystals. So we know the seal source. How do we break it and restore the flow of time?
Do you recall the dome of light on top of the cliffs to the west? Inside lie the ruins of an old temple. It was there that the witch built the Vare, a conduit of sorts that channels her remaining ether into the surge. But it's been a long time since anyone set foot in the place. And now, there are others who claim it as their own.
Then we shall go prepared for a fight. That said, it may be best if one of us stays behind.
You think the village could be in danger?
We saw the ether flow from Waljas in all directions, but only encountered a single familiar. There will be more. And should even one make its way here, I doubt the walls could hold it back for long.
Then I shall stay. The Phoenix will see your people safe, tributary.
You have my thanks.
Very well. We should depart at once. I fear time may no longer be a luxury we can afford.
The Vare is not easy to find. We must first head north, and then west, deeper into the forest.
I know we said we don't have enough time, but I need to do these side missions really quick. And that one over there too.
yeah?
Hell. I'm gonna skip this section or speed it up. Basically, the whole point of the side mission is just to bring my Chocobo Ambrosia over to the DLC, and to do that, I have to go back to the mainland, specifically in Martha's Rest, talk to somebody who gives me an item, and after which I go over where I started the DLC, and I get to smuggle my bird over.
Oh, I never should have let him go alone. Ty, take me. What am I gonna do? You've got to help me.
I'm gonna skip over the side mission too. Basically, the gist of the side mission is that he lost his friend in the forest, and he asked us if we can go and search for his friend, well, because they were maintaining the glamour, and the glamour are the stones that keep Mysidia hidden from the outside world, to my understanding, and they're in those little pillars glowing. But we eventually found his friend, and well, we brought him back safely to the village.
Bastard things. I can't go on like this.
Don't say that. You'd only get yourself worked up again. Just try to breathe. That's it.
The gist of this mission is that the daughter's trying to find a cure for her father's illness, and nothing has been working. She asked me to ask around the village for any clues or any leads, so I asked the swordsmith, who then asked me to ask the daughter's father's friend. He mentioned that her father, took an interest in the woods lately, so we went to the woods, and it turns out that they were putting a curse on him by the tonberries, the one that looked like baby sharks. But the twist is this.
Anyone who would nurse such a grudge.
No, I believe the one who left the chain at the altar was Talor himself.
I beg your pardon.
But there's more to the tale, you see. It's said that if you attempt to curse a soul that has returned to the sea already, your ire has nowhere to go but back to its source.
You're saying he cursed himself?
In trying to curse another, aye.
When my father was younger, he was one of the few permitted to venture beyond the wall on trading expeditions. He told us that when he journeyed to Sanbreque, he'd wear that chain to disguise his true beliefs, lest Grieger's faithful turn their cudgels on him.
Did they ever catch him in his deception? Might that explain the ill will he bears someone?
Not that he ever told me.
Come now, let's not waste time speculating about Talor's past. We need to focus on the present, and that means finding a way to break the curse.
All right. If there's anything I can do to help, let me know.
Thank you. I shall.
Aye, and thanks for going to all this trouble. Here, it's not much, but I want you to have this. We call it an adder stone. It's a gatherer's charm. Reacts to certain rare minerals we use in crafting. Makes them ring out like a bell, stuff you'd have no chance of spotting otherwise. If you find anything, see that you bring it back to me. I can make you some decent gear with it. If you're interested, like.
I am, thank you. And I'll be sure to pay you a visit. Until then, I wish your father a swift recovery.
For a side mission, I thought that was pretty interesting. And the good thing is that once we completed this, we unlocked the serpent ring recipes.
speak with you a moment? There is a matter with which I would beg your aid.
The fourth and last side mission of this video is about a woman who mentions that she saw somebody suspicious out in the woods. We went out to investigate, did a little battle, and then it turns out that it was one of the lady's lovers. So he followed her all the way to Mysidia. But the truth is that he followed us while we went through the veil. So now we have an uninvited visitor in Mysidia, and well, they need to decide how to treat him.
The forest is crawling with life, most of it hungry, which is why we make sure this gate stays shut.
And why you carry that impressive-looking axe, I presume?
Noticed her, have you?
The temple is up there.
Don't worry, those cliffs aren't the only way to the top.
Are these the ruins?
Yes. As far as we can tell, they're part of the same complex as the temple itself.
To think of all the people who must once have lived here.
Better already.
These remind me of home.
You're from the north, then?
Yes. And no.
I see. Do you see that cave up ahead? Whoever lived here carved a flight of stairs into the stone within.
A way to the top.
And whatever it is that awaits us there.
And that'll be all for this time.